We know our Delaware horsemen have a lot going on every day, keeping their big four-legged athletes in shape and managing the day-to-day responsibilities of a stable. But that sure isn't going to keep us from interrupting a trainer's routine. Here on the Post Time Show, we had very urgent questions for horse trainer Jason Skinner that we just had to get the answers to. Well, you'll see what was so important in this edition of our Q&A segment. What is your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure. If I had to say, it would be probably Coca-Cola. I just love Coca-Cola. It's no good for you. I know my mother passed away there, and she used to always give me hell about drinking Coca-Cola. It's like, you can pour it on your battery and clean your battery with it. That can't be any good. But I know Susan still gives me hell about Coke, and I can't get enough of it. I try to get one every couple days, not every day. I do try to wean myself from not getting it every day, but I do like Coca-Cola.
How do you show love to others?
I'd say it's changed over the years. I think I used to go buy them gifts all the time, but now I don't have as much money, it seems like. So I try to tell them more. I think it's a big deal now. I think you get older, and I think I used to probably buy Susan a lot of things, try to get out of trouble most of the time. So I don't know if that's really showing my love or my trying to get out of the doghouse thing. But now I usually just tell her how much I love her and how much I appreciate her. And same with the boys, you know. Try to tell them how proud I am of them, stuff like that.
What's the best tip about training horses you've ever gotten?
You know, I've gotten so many good tips over the years. I don't know if I can narrow it down to one or two, but like one that sticks out into my head, you know, I guess there's two that really stick out to me. One is the best thing to do as a trainer is classification. And you do that with the pencil. When you drop them in, which nowadays you do on the internet, you know, when you drop them in, but I still think it's the best way to win races. You know, you classify them, put them where they belong, you know, which is hard to do, but that's the best way to win. And I think the other thing is stick to what works, you know, don't go changing things up. If it's not working at the time, it's just things aren't working. Just stick with it, what you know, put your head down and keep working.
Are you binge watching anything lately? Have you watched Tiger King yet?
I haven't gotten to Tiger King at all yet. I know my wife's big in the Ozark, I think, is a series she's watching, which I haven't got to watch that either. I watch a lot of Barstool. Dave in there right now, he usually does pizza reviews, but now we're doing frozen pizza reviews. I enjoy watching that. We're doing people are sending him a lot of free gifts. He's unboxing things, and I don't know why, but I enjoy watching that. So I'd say I'm binge watching Barstool right now.
If a movie was based on your life, who would play you and who would play your wife, Susan?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think I'd have to go with the late, great Chris Farley to play me. And I think Susan would probably be Nicole Kidman. I'm thinking Nicole Kidman would be good for her. I think Chris was hilarious, a big guy like me, so I think he fits pretty good, you know. Nicole's beautiful, tall and skinny like Sue, so I think that would work out pretty good.
What would the title of that movie be?
Probably Yes Dear. You know, I feel like I'm always saying yes dear, you know. I feel like that would be good if you had to make a movie about my life. Usually whatever she wants, she kind of gets. You know, she might not get it right away, but I usually give in. I'm a sucker like that, but I think that would be a pretty good title, Yes Dear.
What's your favorite potato chip flavor?
I love potato chips. I don't think there's a kind I do not like. I get on kicks, you know, I'm a big Dorito guy. I'll get Cool Ranch every day for a couple days, and I'll go to regular Doritos, and then I like the Lay's, just a plain chip, and I don't think there's one I dislike, you know. I like them all.
Who is the best racehorse you've ever seen?
Probably in my generation, I would think Wiglet Jiglet. I watched him win the jug, and I got chills, you know. I remember watching Ryder, and I told Ryder, I said, I don't think you understand just what happened there and how great a race that was. So I'd have to say Wiglet Jiglet, hands down.
What's the longest you've gone without sleep? And what were the circumstances?
You know, I can't remember me ever going without sleep, but if I had to pick a time, it'd probably be when I shipped to Canada to race somebody up there. It's usually like a 10 or 12 hour ride, and once you get there, you got to get the stalls ready, and make sure they got water and settled in and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good 15-hour day. You're up, you know. So you lose a little sleep there. But usually sleep to me is pretty much precious as it comes. So I like sleeping, so I don't miss too much.
If you could be on the cover of any magazine, which magazine would you choose?
I hope I'd be on the cover of Forbes someday, you know. Make the millionaire list there. That would be great. I always thought that was a great magazine and a lot of insight on how they're making money and what they're doing with their money and stuff like that. So hopefully I have enough money to talk about someday.
What's your best life advice?
I have to really say just don't worry. I think a lot of people worry too much. You know, my wife, she worries all the time. She worries enough for both of us. Just kind of go with the flow, you know, let things happen. And it'll be that way. Like, there's nothing, you can only control so much. So just don't worry, just live life as it comes to you. Roll with the punches, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
What an entertaining Q&A. Thanks, Jason. Now let's go back in time to check out a Skinner standout in action. And it's Ireneonthemove from the 2008 Legislators Cup at the Delaware State Fair.
The opening quarter, strong 27-1, and Flirt with the Dealer is parked. Ladyfield's got the rail, Need You right there in third. Another length and a half back in fourth there. As they come toward the top of the stretch, Ireneonthemove, Love and Lust, and Betting Machine. They come by the stands. With the lead, Ladyfield sitting outside is Flirt with the Dealer. That's Need You with the rail coming to the outside. Ireneonthemove, it's two back to Love and Lust, followed by Betting Machine. The trailers are Seamstress for the Pan and Prairie Steel, 55-1. Into that turn the second time, Ladyfield. The lead is 3 parts of a length outside. Flirt with the Dealer gets weary now and backs away. That's Need Ya back into second, coming 3 wide. Right now is Seamstress for the Pan as they head up to back, make that Ireneonthemove up to join Ladyfield. It's Ireneonthemove on the outside now, going by to get the lead as they go by 3/4, and Ireneonthemove went by 3/4 in 1:24 3 into the far turn. Ireneonthemove has opened up 4 lengths on that far turn. Outside Need Ya trying to get by Ladyfield coming toward the top of the stretch. And Ireneonthemove has opened up 6-7 widening lengths at the top of the stretch. It's Ireneonthemove all alone. On the far outside, Betting Machine trying to get into second. Love and Lust down the rail. Farther out is Seamstress for the Pan. All alone, Ireneonthemove.
Ireneonthemove wins the prestigious Legislators Cup over the Harrington Raceway half mile at the Delaware State Fair in 1:53-2 with Corey Callahan in the bike. This was the first of 2 Legislators Cups. The pacing phenom won for owner Rodney Wyatt. The daughter of powerful toy Out of the Mare, Lindaonthemove, raced from 2005 as a 2-year-old through some of 2011 as an 8-year-old. With a career best of 151-1, she racked up 152 starts, earning 39 wins, 29 seconds, and 18 thirds, with almost $850,000 taken to the bank. Not only was this fan favorite a Delaware Standardbred Breeders' Fund champion, but she competed in top stakes races in the U.S. and Canada. Let's chat with trainer Jason Skinner about how incredibly special this mare was to his life and his career.
Irene was raised by Rodney Wyatt, so I saw her very young. She was, I think she was just born the first time I saw her. She was running around the field. She was born out in the field, which I thought was pretty neat. I thought she was strong, you know. She did it all by herself, and she was up, getting around the next day, no problem. She looked very athletic from day one. And first time we brought her in the barn to be broke, the first day I put the hobbles on her, I'll never forget it. She paced, and I mean paced tight circles. Like, I knew a half mile would never, ever bother her. And she was just athletic from day one. There was just no doubt in my mind she was not going to be a good horse. I got her as a yearling, and I had her whole life. She's probably my first big horse I ever had. Like, probably put me on the map, you know. Everybody knows Irene, and I was associated with her, and she was the first Delaware bred to really go out and kind of make a name for herself there. She raced in the Natty LaBelle and the Fan Hanover. I think she was in the richest Fan Hanover, if I remember correctly, ever. I think she raced for 780. She finished 5th in there, and she was about 5th best filly that year. She was a nice filly. She was just more like a natural. I mean, things that she could do early, other colts had to work to do, you know, and she did her work so easy, where like if you put the hobbles on a baby and they kind of get themselves gated, and you know, things just don't come easy to some colts. You know, some colts it just clicks from day one, and they're just natural athletes, you know. It's funny, and I got 3 things I cherish at home. I mean, I love my wife and my kids. I'm not saying that, but I got a painting there of Irene. It's one of my favorite things. I got a decoy duck I love, and there's another duck painting there. I like ducks a lot. And those are my 3 favorite things in the household. Like, that's the only thing I have decorating the whole house. My wife decorates it, everything else. But those are my 3 favorite things. I love the painting. I just cherish it. And to me, there's nothing better than Irene. She was your first one, you know. She's like your first kiss. You never forget those, you know what I mean? I was thinking the other day, a lot of memories come back, but, you know, I owe a lot to Irene. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have the stable I have today.